Today I killed a woman. She wasn't like every other ordinary woman, but she was a woman nonetheless. She even tried to plot with her husband to kill me, probably for money so that they could attempt to get out of their drug debt, more than likely. But a lot of people don't know that once you are in the mafia, there's no way out, and the only way out is to be hunted forever. I was born into this lifestyle, so I had no choice. I had to grow and adapt to live in this environment, adjust to survive. I thrive because I feel nothing. Well felt, past tense. I was hesitant to kill the woman today. Very hesitant. I didn't show it though. I'm not really good at showing emotions anyway. I think I was hesitant because I keep thinking, what if it was Ryan? What if Ryan is in that exact same position? What if she gets kidnapped by a person like me or Felix? We would kill her with no second thought. So I hesitated ever so slightly, and it almost killed me. I almost died because I was going to be good for once and spare the wife to try and change for my goal. But that didn't work. Maybe if I keep trying, eventually I'll just become naturally good. Naturally good at being kind. I want to become good for her. She's my light and I don't want to infect her with darkness. I want to grow to become a better man for our future kids. I want to be worthy enough to be the father of her kids. Without her, I have no purpose, no home, nothing. I'm falling for her and it's scary. It's scary how much control she has over me. I would do anything for her, even given my own life. It worries me because I don't know if she feels the same. I desperately want her to. I know the effects I have over her, but that's physical. I want something emotional for once. Someone I can lean on when times get tough, and for her to trust me to protect and love her like I want to. I'm not seeing people as objects anymore, and that thanks to her. It scares me because if she heard even half of the things I have done, she would think I'm a monster, especially if she's seen me doing it to people, burning them until their bones turn black. Breaking bones and letting them heal only to break them again. I'm afraid my past will catch up and destroy us. Everyone in the mafia business wants me dead. Firstly, for killing their men, and secondly, because I own the biggest mafia in the world. My father made it impossible for me to be kind to anyone. He made me selfish and cruel, but she's undoing what he did. She's taking the bad parts and making them good. He closed his journal and slipped it back under his pillow. He sighed, releasing all his built up tension and anger. He can't wait to go home. Hopefully, you are not asleep by the time he get home. He still have a few more people to talk to. He got off his bed with a groan and walked back into the base. As he was walking down the hall, Taeyong found him. Kim Sok-jin is now the official leader of his mafia, Taeyong informed him, reading off a sheet. Your brother took over your family's mafia. At least that bastard won't be able to hurt her anymore. He spoke angrily, just thinking about your father. Jungkook, we really need to have your mother's funeral, Taeyong suggested to him, trying to persuade him. No, he snapped instantly at him. Her body is in the morgue and it's been there for ages. Taeyong sighed, hinting for him to do something about it. Fine, tomorrow. He rolled his eyes. Tomorrow? Taeyong said, shocked. Yeah, it's the only day I have day off. He growled angrily because he wanted to spend it with you. Okay then, tomorrow it is. Taeyong nodded, agreeing with him. What's tomorrow? Ice asked, walking by. Jungkook's mom's funeral. Taehyung uttered, writing down things on his notepad while strolling down the hall next to him. I'll get the word out. Ice gave Taehyung a thumbs up, continuing to walk in the opposite direction. Taehyung gave him a thumbs up back in response. Are you allowing your father to come? Taehyung asked, not even realizing what he had just said. Jungkook became angry and grabbed Taehyung's throat and squeezed his hand. Do you think I would let that fucking murderer come to my mother's funeral? He spat at Taehyung, who grabbed his wrist to try and break Jungkook's grip on his throat. I didn't think. Taehyung struggled to say. Jungkook gritted his teeth before dropping him. Taeyong gasped for breath as soon as he released him. I'm sorry, he muttered, his hands resting on his knees to hold himself up. Jungkook didn't respond because he was angry. Sometimes I wonder why I'm friends with you, Taeyong said in between breaths. You sat at home on the couch eating pizza. Ice had ordered you the pizza before he left to go help Jungkook. Kai and Jisoo were upstairs taking a nap and Jace and Quizon were in the guest room playing video games. Kai strutted downstairs and came inside. He snatched a slice of your pizza, so you threw him a glare. Did you hear? Kai mumbled with his mouth full of pizza. Hear what? You blinked at him curiously. Jungkook's mom's funeral is tomorrow. He shook his head as he spoke with a sad tone. When he said that, you immediately get worried about Jungkook. You stood up and peeked out the window to see his limousine had pulled up yet. You let out a sigh of disappointment when it wasn't. Is he okay? You tried to ask Kai casually. No, he's sobbing in his office. Kai said with a straight face. Your jaw dropped and you was ready to run out the door when Kai burst into laughter. That's not funny, you scolded at him. Haha, it's very funny. He chuckled, calming down. He's fine. Kai brushed it off. You rolled your eyes at him. You knew he wasn't. You could feel it. You think he needs a hug. Kai stood up and went back to upstairs to Jisoo. He came down to steal a slice of your pizza and left. You was eating and watching a Grey's Anatomy when Jungkook came back in. You looked up at him with a smile. You was still in your pajamas and you probably had pizza on your face. He blinked at you a few times. Do you want some pizza? You offered him. He nodded, sitting next to you and taking your half-eaten slice out of your hand. I was eating that one. You scolded at him. It was easier to reach. The corner of Jungkook's mouth twitched. I have to train the newbies tomorrow. Jungkook sighed disappointedly. You're still going to work? You shrieked shockingly at him. Of course, why wouldn't I? Well, I was supposed to go back to nursing school tomorrow, but I'll take a day off since it's your mom's funeral. You ramble while watching the TV. Who told you? Jungkook's head turned to you. He was getting all worked up. Kai, you shrugged. Jungkook nodded before calming down. Jungkook took the pizza box off your off your lap and rested his head on your thighs, the rest of his body covering the couch. He was laying on his stomach with his head turned to the TV. Your heart fluttered as you watched him stare blankly at the screen. He looked exhausted. "How was your day?" you asked him. "It was shit," he groaned, pulling off his shirt to get comfortable. "Oh," you uttered sadly as you began to run your fingers along Jungkook's back. It was really soothing for him because you realized he had shut his eyes. You ran your fingers along his spine. He turned over, laying on his back, now trying desperately not to fall asleep. "If you're tired, you should sleep," you whispered to him while running your fingers along the outline of his abs. He gazed up at you. "No," he blinked a few times before answering. "Why not?" You threw him a confused look. "Because when I wake up, I'll have to bury my mother, and I don't want to do that," he admitted, opening up willingly, which was very surprising. "Wyan," Jungkook muttered with a slightly vulnerable tone. "Yeah," you watched your finger trace his abs, not realizing what he wanted of you. "Wyan," he asked you again. You know that vulnerability in his voice. You stared at him. He sat up and you stood up before sitting on his lap. You watched his bright brown eyes stare into yours. You swear you could get lost in them if you wanted to. It's like he had a spell on you and only he could break it. When you're around him, nothing else matters. Nothing else can get your attention. It's him. It will always be him. He leaned into you, hugging your waist. You held his head with one hand and wrapped your other around his neck. You kissed the side of his forehead as he tried to bury his head into your neck. He shut his eyes, taking you in. "You'll be okay." You ran your hands through his hairs, trying to make him feel better. When he felt sad, you felt sad. Your eyes stung with tears. Your heart hurt for him. He was never shown affection by his mother because of his father. He was forced to grow up without comfort and love. A tear rolled down your cheek as you sniffled. Jungkook lifted his head off your shoulder to see why you was sniffling and noticed the tear. "Why are you crying?" He immediately got aggressive. Not at you, but what was hurting you. "It's nothing," you assured him. "Tell me," he growled. "I just feel sad for you." You pouted at him. His eyes widened and he glanced at your tear. He brushed the tear away with his thumb, gently like he could break you if he touched you too hard. Then he smashed his lips onto yours, kissing you passionately but slowly, so that you could keep up with him. He was too experienced for you, but you think he liked your innocence and you think you liked his experience. He broke the kiss and forced you to lie down on the couch, pinning your hands above your head. "I can't do this without you knowing," you squeaked as you stopped him, an eyebrow raised, appearing on his perfectly sculpted face. His eyes pierced into yours, making you want to curl up into a ball. You gulped as you watched his cold eyes stare at yours. He wasn't purposely trying to be intimidating, he just was. He radiates power and confidence, which scares you. He glanced at you, getting impatient. "What is it?" His eyes went from cold to soft in a matter of seconds. "I'm not a virgin." You looked at ground ashamed. You wasn't able to look at him while tears built up in your eyes. He wasn't saying anything. You can already imagine the look of shock and shame shame in his eyes. A tear rolled down your cheek in embarrassment. You couldn't even look at him. If you saw the disgusted look in his eyes, it would crush you. You slept with Felix out of anger because Jungkook hurt you. But it's your fault. Your virginity was never that important to you until Jungkook told you that you should save it for someone special. You wiped your tears away from your face with your head hanging low. Until you hear Jungkook chuckling. You glance up to see him laughing with his hand holding his heart. You frowned your eyebrows confusedly watching him laugh. I thought something was actually wrong. He calmed down from laughing. So you are not angry? You whimpered. He stopped laughing when he realized you was upset. Are you serious? He gave you an unimpressed look. Your virginity isn't or wasn't the reason I like you. So why would I care if it's gone? Besides, you're still tight. He whispered in your ear, almost making you jump up and run out of the room. 8 inches. You gulped at him. He smirked proudly before licking his lips. 8 inches? He nodded with a confident look. But I'm still going to kill Felix for touching my goal. He growled, sending tingles through your body. You didn't want to admit it, but you loved when he was protective. You can't kill him, you muttered quietly, playing with your hands. And why's that? He challenged you. Because I said so. You wanted to tease him a little. He could kill him and you wouldn't mind. I can do what I want, he growled playfully, pushing his forehead against yours. You pushed back. I am the alpha. You tried to growl, but it didn't work. You seen a smile appear on Jungkook's lips. You giggled while rolling your eyes. You can't even growl. He showed you, making you lie on the couch. You went to sit back up, but he pushed you down again, this time pinning your arms above your head. You giggled at him, making him smile. He opened your legs and lay on top of you. You're heavy. You struggle to breathe. Are you calling me fat? He gasped, staring at you with his eyes widened. Yes, you grinned giddily, waiting for his response. See these, they are pure muscle, he informed you while running his hands along his abs. Fat, you muttered jokingly, earning a scowl. His scowl then turned into a pout. No, I was joking, it's muscles. You said frantically as he started to move off of you. You seen a grin spread across his face as he pinned you down again. See, I told you. He looked you up and down while laying on the couch. Jungkook, my eyes are up here. You smirked at his realization of what he doing, only to realize he didn't care. I was imagining myself rearranging your guts. He grinned before licking his lips. You was not ready for his response. He rose to your cheeks, turning them a dark pink color. Is someone embarrassed? He pouted at you, making your cheeks even hotter. No, you stuttered, wanting to face palm immediately after. You shut your eyes and sighed, while Jungkook laughed at your awkwardness. Jungkook brought his head next to yours so that his mouth was inches from your ear. Think of Felix in bed. Now think of someone 10 times better, and that's me. He whispered seductively, making your cheeks stay hot and your heart race. And you will be under me, begging me to stop. He whispered before kissing your neck slowly. You shut your eyes, trying to contain the butterflies in your stomach. His touch sent electricity through your body, making you want more. You wanted him to touch you everywhere. It wasn't like this with Felix. Felix didn't make you crazy or make your heart race. You realize that now. You can only imagine what Jungkook is like in bed. Felix got a few moans out of you, but Jungkook has gotten screams out girls. Nerves shot through your body at the thought. Jungkook probably seen you thinking because he stopped kissing your neck. What are you thinking about? He whispered so quietly that it almost came out as a breath. His whisper sounded curious but slightly cheeky. Nothing, you gulped, watching him gaze at you. He ran his hand along your thigh and up to your stomach, stopping at your waistband. Your breath hissed as he pulled at the waistband of your trousers ever so slightly. "You're not ready yet?" he teased you. "I am." You nodded, getting a half smile from him. You felt a pool of warmth spill out from between your legs. You tried to close them, but Jungkook's body was in the way. He stared at you, wondering what you was doing with your legs. His phone started to ring. He rolled his eyes, looking at the phone. "I have to take this. It's probably about the new recruits tomorrow." Jungkook stood up, answering his phone. "How many recruits are there?" he asked. He sounded tired, but also like he didn't want to train them. You imagine, new recruits are quite young and giddy. You never really got to learn about this stuff in your family. Your father's priorities was always your brothers. Anyways, you think he has to train them because Taeyong and Ice will be too busy setting up his mom's funeral, which he should really be doing. 15 is a lot. Jungkook scoffed into the phone. "Fine, and your 3 p.m. is okay for the funeral." He hung up the phone. "I don't think you should go train the recruits tomorrow," you expressed worriedly. He gave you a confused look. "'Cause you'll have a lot going on. I just don't want you to become unstable and kill one of them." You tried to put it as nicely as you could. "I'm not going to become unstable." He rolled his eyes at you. You gave him a look that said, "I don't believe you." "I'll be fine," he reassured you, slipping his phone back into his pocket. "Let me come with you then." You sat with your knees pulled up to your chest and your arms wrapped around them. "No," he said quickly. He made up his mind very quickly. "Please?" you asked in a high-pitched tone. "No," he repeated, but this time he had a stern look on his face. "Pretty please." You jumped up, on one hand on his veiny arm and the other holding his hand. He looked down at you with a raised eyebrow. "I won't get hurt, I promise, although I can't promise I won't hit a girl or guy if they try to flirt with you." You was basically begging him. You had been to one of these things with Felix, but you wanted to see Jungkook's routine training worked. "Fine," he groaned, carving into your desires. You cheered happily while hugging him, forgetting he is not the most affectionate person in the world. But he hugged you back, which kind of shocked you, to be honest. You shut your eyes while hugging him, focusing on the smell of his cologne and the warmth of his body. "You're always warm," you mumbled, almost rolling on him. "Yup, it's because I'm the devil," he responded. "You're secretly an angel," you whispered at him, holding your finger against your lips, signaling that it was a secret. "Oh yeah?" He sounded happier. "Yeah," you held him tighter. It was the next morning. You and Jungkook was getting ready to go train the newbies while you sat on his bed in a towel and your hair also wrapped up in a towel, scribbling in his journal. You asked to draw in it, but you did get a very serious response, and that is, don't read any of the pages because it's an invasion of privacy with a very stern tone, which you found incredibly sexy. He tried to do his tie, but as always, he messed it up. Come here. You waved your hand and pointed to the edge of the bed where you were sitting comfortably. He wandered over, still trying to tie it on the way but failing again. This is so stupid, he snapped, getting frustrated. You stood up in front of him and did his tie with ease. See, you need me. You winked teasingly at him. Stupid, stupid F tie. I wear one every day of my goddamn life and I still can't tie it. He slammed his dress shut, making you jump. He looked over at you. You know he's a bit angry and he has a right to be. I'm sorry. He ran his hand through his ears, sitting on the bed while letting out a sigh. I just want today to be over. It's okay. You crawled over to him and started to massage his back soothingly. He was really tense, which was telling you that he was very stressed out. How many newbies are going to be there again? You questioned him with a soft tone, trying to relax him. 15, he responded with more of a calm tone to his voice. You will be okay. It's like dealing with 15 of Grey and Chase. You giggle, trying to make it better for him, but also knowing he could barely stand Chase and Grayson as they are. New recruits are so annoying because all they want to do is kill someone. It's just not that easy. He rolled his eyes. You do it with ease. You raised your eyebrows at him. He let out a snicker. What can I say? I'm good at what I do. Okay, get out. I have to change. You showed him slightly while rolling off the bed. Jungkook huffed, standing up and smoking. You instantly knew he didn't want to leave because he is Jungkook and he hasn't had sex in a while. I'll turn around. He grinned cheekily, and to be honest, you knew there was a big likelihood he would try something, but you didn't mind since all you wanted to do is get dressed. Fine, but if you turn around, I'll kick you in the balls, Jungkook. I'm warning you now in advance. You chirped, turning away from him so that you both had your backs to each other. You should say my name more. You can picture the cheeky smirk on his face while he stood with his back facing yours. Why? You asked curiously as you dropped your towel. Because it's sexy, he said with a poor sound effect on the end of his sentence, a giggle escaping your lips. You slipped on your thong and hooked your bra. Aren't you done yet? Jungkook whined, sounding like a 6-year-old who was stuck in a car for too long. No, so don't turn around. You warned him, putting on your skin-tight black dress that showed a bit of cleavage around the chest area. You would have worn a more appropriate dress, but you didn't have another black dress since Jungkook set this up as a short notice. I can't believe we have to get ready before we go train the new recruits. You struggle to reach your zipper at the back of your dress while talking to Jungkook. It's not my fault. The funeral is straight after we finish training them. Blame Ice. He made the schedule. Jungkook groaned, tired of waiting for you to be finished. Don't use that tone with me, mister. You took like 2 hours to get one strand of your hair to stay in place. You scolded him playfully. Jungkook, can you? You turned around to see that he is staring at you. He gave you a mischievous smile. How long have you been turned around? You asked him, your expression blank. Almost the entire time, he beamed happily. I kept complaining because I knew if I didn't, you would turn around to check if I was still turned around. He grinned proudly at himself. You sighed defeatedly. Can you at least help me zip up my dress? You ask him, rolling your eyes. You heard his heavy footstep approach you and stop when he was right behind you. He ran his finger from the top of your neck, where the last bit of skin was exposed, down to your zipper before grabbing it and zipping it up. He grabbed your hips and pulled you closer to him so that both of your heads were next to each other. You could feel his growing erection against your back. You screamed slightly, but he kept his hands on your hips firmly so that you couldn't move. Don't roll your eyes at me, he snarled quietly inches away from your ear, making the hair on the back of your neck stand up. I am the Mafia King. I do what I want, he whispered in your ear, his eyes scanning your body. You froze, blinking a few times. You felt like you was under his spell. You wanted him badly. But you both had to go to the funeral and you both didn't have time to mess around. Although you wish you did, you finally worked up enough courage to move. Yet I have all the power. You grinned your back against him, catching him off guard. His eyebrows raised as his hand swayed with your hips. You are the Mafia King. You turn around. But I am the Mafia Queen. You raised your eyebrows at him just before you started walking out. You got to sense the shock on his face before you left. Jungkook doesn't usually get shocked, and when he does, it's hard to tell, but you could tell because he was speechless.